Hello, friends, and welcome back. Well, I have had a very busy week here. I have been busy continuing with my decorating, and I was thinking about that as I'm doing all of my decorating this week, why it takes me longer than, I don't know, some of my friends. Well, the thing is, it's a creative time for me. Like I said last week, I do things differently every year. My theme, not only for Christmas that year, but my theme for each room does change from year to year. I do get a lot of my inspiration from different books that I have or different magazines, and of course, Pinterest and Instagram do some influencing also. For me, part of the process and part of what I enjoy is setting the scene. And that includes music that I'm playing, and these happen to be some old records that we have collected through the years. So I do play those for nostalgia reasons. I always have to light candles. That is part of pretty much an everyday thing for me. I love candles. Last but certainly not least, of course, I have to make myself a hot beverage and use one of my fun Christmas coffee cups or mugs. And I do like to do different flavored teas. Of course, if it has a Christmas flavor, that's even better. Or sometimes I will do hot coffee and just sprinkle some ginger and cinnamon, maybe a little cardamom on top, which again gives it a little bit of a Christmas flavor without all of the added sugars. Part of the reason my decorating process takes a little longer is that I do stop, and typically I'm doing some form of a project or a crafting that maybe I have put off until now, but I would like to get that done before I use the item in my decor. This is an example of such a project that I have been putting off for a little while. I wanted to make this look more antiqued. It is an old mirror I've had for a while, and I wanted to try out this rub and buff. I've not used it before, and I have to say it was quite easy to use. And I was very pleased with the outcome. It gave that white mirror the antiqued look I was looking for. I also made some more Christmas beeswax candles. Now, I did do a video about a year ago or so, and I will link that below showing you how I go ahead and make the beeswax candles. These happen to be Christmas trees, and I just loved them. They turned out great. One thing I have purchased since making that original video is this wax melting pot, and I cannot recommend it enough. I had such a mess before just using an old pan and spatulas and things. This melts the wax so much quicker, and the cleanup is absolutely incredible. This is what it looks like after I just poured it into the molds. It looks like it's brand new. I also tried a new craft project this year, and it was a fun one. It was these origami Christmas balls. They were so fun to make. They were a quick project, and I loved the fact that it was using items I already had on hand. These are made out of cupcake liners, which I'm sure most of us have stored somewhere in our kitchen. And there's so many different pretty ones. As you can see, I used plain liners and I used decorative ones. As I was making these, I just thought it would be a great project to share with you because not only, like I said, it's an easy one using items we have on hand, but it would also be a fun project to do with your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews. The only thing I would recommend different is I did use a hot glue gun. If you are doing this with children, I would recommend just using Elmer's glue, which I did try and that worked just fine. So let's head into the living room and I'm going to show you exactly how I made these. Now before we get started, I just wanted to give you a better close-up of what I have here on my table as far as supplies. Obviously I have my glue gun. It actually has a couple of temperatures. It is a hot glue gun. If you are doing this with children, then I would recommend using just an Elmer's glue, which I did do on one of the ornaments just to see if it held, and it held perfectly fine. Obviously I have another glue stick in case I need that. This is just a piece of twine that I'm using. As you can see here, that's what I've done on this one to get it started. I am going to be hanging them with a velvet ribbon, and you will see that in the picture. But for now, to get started, I'm just using some twine. These are my folded cupcake liners. We're going to do green right now, and this is just, what they look like before. So I merely folded them in half. I have been using anywhere from 10 to 14 liners. It depends on how full you want your bulb to be, how much of the color you want showing. So just play with it. This is not a difficult thing. Just play with it and you do as full as you want. So anyway, just wanted to show you what we have going here on the table because you won't be able to see. Of course, I have my tea. This actually, since we're doing a close-up, this is an old antique card table. I purchased this at an estate sale shortly after we first moved here, and I just love it. Obviously it's worn and that just shows its age, but that's okay. That makes me love it even more. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I thought we would come into the living room today. The lighting is a little better this time of day in here than it is in the kitchen, and it's in front of the tree. It's festive, so I just thought I thought this would be a good place to craft. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, I have already folded the cupcake liners just in half. So here's your cupcake liner. Now, when you have a pattern or a color, you're putting right sides together. So you're just merely folding that in half. And then you just take one strip of glue from the center on out, then you press that together, and I just try to work on straightening out the wrinkles as much as possible. So one is done. So then once you have those, now we're just going to take two and put together. So you start about a third of the way down, again, just straight across with your glue, straight across with your glue. Line them up so they are even. Gently press, and you just continue on until you have all of the liners glued together. And again, like I said, just do however many, however full you want it to be. On the mini one that I made, I didn't use as many.
because I didn't want it as full because it was a smaller bulb. But I just played around with it. And on one like this where it has a pattern that you're showing, that you want to show on the inside, you may not want as much of the white showing, so you would need more liners in this case. Whereas in this case, it really doesn't matter. It depends on the look that you want. So you just play with it. Now, once you're done getting all of those put together, before you open it up and glue it together, you're going to put on your string or ribbon, whichever you choose to do. And I am just going to put glue here, like in the center. You fold that in half. And then just glue it on in the middle there. And then we are going to open it up. And you're going to put your glue in just do a couple of strips here, just like you were doing previously. Bring them together and hold. And that's it as far as what you have there. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to, on this one, I want to put the little ball on. So let's get that. Let me show you that real quick. So all I did is I purchased these wooden balls or beads at Joann Fabrics. There's 2 different sizes in there. And I just took some white paint. I painted that. And this is just a skewer. I just put it right on the skewer, painted it in place, and now I'm going to glue it. And then you just stick it in the bottom, center it, hold it just for a couple of seconds there, and let that dry. And that is that. Now, if you want to decorate it more, it would be pretty, maybe with some glitter on there sprinkled. Yeah, however you want to decorate. I would love to know and hear, have you made these before? If not, if you try it, did you do anything different than I did as far as your decorations? So I am going to then take longer pieces of velvet ribbon that I have, and that is, I'm going to attach it to my twine, and I'll probably just do different lengths in my window. So I will show you how I ended up doing that. Okay, so there you go. Let's go hang those up in the window.
I did take a break on Saturday and I went to the Amherst German Christmas market with a friend. Now, Mark and I had gone last year. Last year was the first year for it, and I have to say I was rather surprised this year, pleasantly surprised. The market itself, as far as the vendors go, I bet there was at least 2 to 3 times more. There was also a lot more people, but it was very fun, some very unique vendors. I truly enjoyed it. I took as many pictures as I possibly could, but like I said, there were a lot of people there. And I'm showing you here some of the beautifully decorated homes in the village of Amherst. If you ever get a chance, it is quintessential New England. It is definitely one of my favorite New England towns. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I will be back next week with my Christmas home tour. In the meantime, if you decide to try this Christmas craft, let me know and let me know how they turn out. Have a great week, friends, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.